Okay, everybody, this is orientation segment number 3. And what we're going to talk about now is what happens if you are selected for the job. Um, well, what happens if the client has interest for you in you? Okay, so there's two different things. So there's the interest first, and then there's the actual selection, right? Let me explain the difference. So the interest is they know from working with talent agencies, they know that not everybody's available, or they may need the agent to check availability. Um, so, excuse me, sometimes what they do is they will say, Stephanie, we are interested in, we'll go back over here. Stephanie, we're interested in these 3 girls. Okay. We've talked about adults so much. Let's talk about kids, but this is going to be for anybody, for actors or models, any age. Okay. Because you're all the talent. Y'all are the talent. The person paying to hire you is the client. Y'all are not my clients. Y'all are the talent. All right. So look, Stephanie, we're interested in Hadley Kate, Zoe, and Emma. What I need you to do is call them and ask them which days they're available, how many days they, like details, because they don't want to they can't make final decisions if they don't even know if this person is available. Okay. So when the interest is there, that's when you have to do some work. You've got to check your calendar. You got to let me know. You got to respond. We'll do everything through email, everything until you're booked for a job. Then we'll move to text. Side note, it helps me stay very organized and all of us when we're on one device instead of you texting me, I'm available on this date, and then you email me and say, oh, I found out I can't do it on that. It helps everybody stay organized on one thread. You get it. All right. So if they have an interest, there's going to be a couple of things that happen. Number one, they're going to check availability. Two, they may say, how comfortable is she with horses? Who knows? We actually had that once. But there will be some small details. Okay. And if you're available, then what they're going to want to do, one of 3 things will happen after the interest in the availability lineup. Okay. They will say, all right, we like these 3 girls. We want to direct book. Who did I say? Emma, and who else? Hadley Kate. Okay. So let's just say that they call me and they say, Stephanie, we want to book Emma, but we want to book her directly. Okay. So they checked availability and they booked her directly. Got it? All right. Now here's another thing that could happen. Stephanie, we want to book Hadley Kate, but we really want to make sure that her personality is okay, because you can't really see personality through pictures. So can you have her go home after school and make a quick personality video, which, looking at her pictures, by the way, these are great commercial pictures. Instead of just, trying to look pretty, if you can act out little scenes. Now, this is for everybody, adults too, women holding a coffee cup and a book and a blanket, um, exercising, yoga, like all of those are the types of clients that we get because we're Savannah. We're not high fashion. We're very commercial and lifestyle. All right. So they may say, we're going to book her directly. They may say, hey, send me a self tape of just her saying what she likes to do for fun. Right. Or they may have an in person casting. So those are your 3: direct booking, a self tape audition, and in person casting. I can tell you the in person casting, since COVID and since we're all online these days, it is way easier for them to say, let the kids tape at home and let us see the tapes. So many things are taping through self tape now. Um, Sometimes I wonder why we still have the studio, quite frankly, but get used to self tape, because it may just be, hey, for models, like, let's just make sure she's got personality, right? Or if it's an acting job, they may say, here's some lines, which the vocabulary term there is sides, 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 like my sides. I laugh so hard, my sides hurt. Okay. So here's some sides. have them go home and film this, and which is basically a screen test, really. So that's how you're selected. It could be, and most of the time you're selected directly just for print work. If there's any sort of commercial or video, and even sometimes for print, the client, and especially for children, the client wants to make sure that they have personality. Okay. These rules go for everybody. Direct booking, audition through a self-tape submission, or an in-person casting. The in-person castings are more for local clients that maybe may want you to come by and try something on to see if it fits, or well, even through our Visit Savannah casting, we did all of that through self-tape. So in-person client castings don't happen some of the magazines is another one. They don't happen too often, but those are the ways that you're selected. So what I would do if I were you is I would start practicing all of this. Well, you can't really practice being direct booked, but you can practice your self-tape, a 30-second personality video. And then you would also need to practice your people skills, because if you do have an in-person audition, 80% of that is just, do they like you? Do they like you? Not so much are you talented, but are you easygoing? Are you easy to talk to? Do you have something to talk about? Do you bring something to the table? So that's hard for people who are brand new. And I've seen a lot of folks that are really talented, but they get nervous just in conversation, and they don't book the job because they seemed nervous in the audition, which, self-tapes might be a good thing, actually. So that's how you're booked. What we're going to talk about now in our next segment is what happens after you've passed through all that and you are the last person standing, right? They had it narrowed down to 3 of you. Maybe it was somebody wasn't available, so then it went to the next 2. And then maybe it was the personality video that they made their decision on. But the person last standing is you. And now it's time to move on to getting you ready to go out on your shoot, whether that's commercial or print shoot. Okay. We're going to talk about that in the next segment.